Hey you guys, first and foremost, thank you for watching my videos, you guys. I really do appreciate it. This last Octo that I went to, I actually had the opportunity to meet a lot of folks that I'd never met before. And I gotta tell you, it's really cool when you guys come up and say, hey man, I watch your videos, this is so cool. Really hypes me up a lot, because then it makes me feel like, okay, cool, the time that I'm spending on the stuff, and Mark helping me out as well, definitely makes it worthwhile. So I do want to send a shout out to a couple of people that really surprised me a lot. Donovan and Harvey from Hawaii, they had actually reached out to me and needed some help about a bus that they were shipping over, and it was really cool to see the VW community come together. So Gabriel, as in like Gabe's Keys, and Ivan down in San Diego went ahead and helped him out and made sure that they got his bus all set to go to Hawaii. And it was kind of cool because Donovan called me and, I don't know, spoke to me like he knew me, and we hit it off, and obviously I'm easy to get along with, but it was super cool that he was the one that actually said, hey man, he goes, I had seen you from your videos, I thought I'd reach out to you and ask for help, and it was cool to help him out. So anyway, guys, thank you. I really appreciate it. One of the things that I thought would be kind of fun to talk about, because it's always kind of fun decoding things, are M codes, as in M as in Mary, the manufacturer codes that you actually see on the M code tags on buses. And I thought it might be kind of fun, even though the shop is a big time mess, to go ahead and kind of go over it. And so it might be kind of fun. Also, speaking of buses and people that know a lot about buses, I do want to send a shout out to Lynn Bjornson, whom actually has a ton of literature. And one of the things that he actually went ahead and reprinted at one point in time was this book here, which is pretty cool, because inside this book are basically tons of options and so forth that you would see on the on buses. I mean, just some of the weirdest stuff. It calls out for for campers, shows you tents and just the setups and the special order model. So from SO23 to SO33, 34, 42, blah 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 blah. But today's topic, kids, welcome to class, are M codes, manufacturer codes. And as you can see on here, and I mean, this is just a few of them, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to somewhat go over them. So next time that you're looking at a bus for sale, go look for the M code plate, and then you can actually see what kind of options it actually came with. Or for an example, if you go and you see that it's a walkthrough, but you're questioning as to whether it's a walkthrough, well, then you can actually go ahead and look up the M code, and it'll actually go ahead and tell you whether it originally came with it or not. It'll also tell you some other stuff, but as far as like the country of import and some other little details. But today we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to go with the M codes. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. Thought I'd show you. And this one I already went ahead and took it off. By the way, if you're ever going to go ahead and take the backrest off of a seat, a walk-through seat, it's actually hinged by two little hooks in the back. But I always highly recommend to put a little bit of pressure on the bottom of the seat so you can actually go ahead and then be able to pull it out. This one I've already set up, so it's not going to make my life miserable. But it's basically the two holes here, and there's two little hooks. As you can see, that's basically where it goes. But that's where the M code plate lives. And sometimes they're missing on certain cars. So I personally like to get a car that actually has an M code plate so I can go ahead and inspect it. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to go ahead and start with this one and start deciphering what this bus actually originally came with. And by the way, this bus here, this is a 1964 standard bus. So standard meaning that it would have come with, with headliner and door panels, as opposed to a combi, which would basically be seats, windows, and just kind of no door panels in the back. But there is an M code for door panels. But this particular one, it was kind of interesting just because you start looking at the M codes. You've got 426, which basically would be a US spec, so US equipment, from sealed beams to bumpers with overriders. 081, which would be for walk-through seats. And then 082, I can't remember exactly what that one is off the top of my head, but when you look at your little book here, it'll actually show some of these. In this particular page, it's not in here, but aside from the regular codes for regular buses, I thought it'd be fun to actually go ahead and check out, well, as you guys may or may not know, I like to collect some of the weird commercial buses. So I've got my cheat sheet because there are a whole bunch of codes. But step into the shop. I apologize in advance. It is a mess. Have not had time to clean it up. But follow me along and let's go over some of the weird ones, okay? Let's go. I think first we're going to start off with the latest bus to come into the stable, and this is the 1967 tipper truck. You may have seen some videos on social media about it. I also did a video on it when Ed Hughes and I did the little 61-hour turnaround trip up to Oregon to go and get it. And this one's definitely, I mean, it's obviously very unique, but it's a very cool truck. Velvet green, you know, big window, 67 only, well, 66 as well. But really cool stuff. But on this one, I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and go over the M codes that are on the tag. And once again, the M codes are back here. So the plate is down here. It was kind of cool just to see, obviously, the M codes that are on there. It's 056, which is ignition and steering column lock. So a lot of the times, you know, you'll see buses that have the European steering column lock on here. And actually, if you want, Mark, I'll help you out here. On this one there, you can see that. There's the lock, which is pretty good. Here you go, senor. All right, hang on one second, you guys. Hey, you guys, say hi to Mark. Hi. Yeah. Mark is always getting into some of the tightest spots, man, just to go ahead and help capture this. So yeah, this one was M code 056, ignition steering column lock. 057, this one's kind of interesting because when you look it up, you guys, also the Samba, shout out to Everett Barnes for you know, compiling one hell of a list of M codes on there. And there are still some that are unknown, and I'll go over a couple of those as well. But you know, when you go to the Samba, you can actually go over to technical, scroll down to where you see VIN, and then also it says M codes that'll help you decipher them. 057 M code is separate front seats is what it says. Now, obviously from 1963 and on, later 63, you have the 1/3, 2/3, you know, setup, so the split seats. But on some of the early buses, apparently it was also known as a walkthrough, and it had that M code. And then 065, it's inscribed axle load limits. So you can actually, and Mark, I don't know if you want to meet me at the front of the bus, you can actually see down here below the headlight, you'll see that this one still has the original paint, and you see the 2070 kilograms. So that's how much the load limit is on that front axle. Now, the other thing that you don't see on here, but I did look it up, which is kind of cool if you want to come over here on this side, you know, this actually, you know, obviously, so here it is, you guys, here's the bed. It's not all the way up, and here's the handle, by the way, so you can actually make it go higher if you wanted to, which is pretty cool. But what is kind of neat is there is a code on here that I had looked up earlier where it actually had wood slats, but it was interesting. It said wood slats included but not installed, which is kind of cool. So these were basically added, I'm going to guess, for vibration purposes. As far as the actual bed, it's not an M code for that. But there is a SO number attached to it, a special order number, and I'll show you guys that later in the book. So the cool thing is that this particular book, like the one that Linda went ahead and reproduced, in that book, you could actually go ahead and see what special order models you could get from Volkswagen. So you'd open up the book, and then it would be a third-party company that would actually go ahead and outfit it with the specialty items, whether it be a dump truck or, like behind me here, it's probably a good way to see it, the sales flap door on this, where it would actually go to Westfalia, and Westfalia would go ahead and convert it. So it would leave the factory in Volkswagen as a high roof van, but then they would do the conversion of it. But let's stay in order here. The second to the last one that came to the stable here. Actually, a shout out to BBT over in Belgium. Thanks to Bob, you guys, for helping me with this. This one came from Italy. It's a 63. It's based off of a 63 single cab, and 63 over in Europe still had bullet turn signals. So a lot of times people say, oh man, it's not a 63, it's a 61. They actually ran bullets through 63 in Europe. This is based off of a single cab, but if you look on the side here, you'll actually see it's a sales flap, and they went ahead and custom built, just coach built, the flaps on here. And eventually, maybe in the next month or so, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out and start going through it, and we'll do a video separate on that one. But on this one, it was interesting because the only M code that was on the M code plate behind the seat again, and you would think that it would have had the, you know, the split front seats one, and so on and so forth. Nope, there's only one M code, and it's 403, which stands for CKD, which means complete knockdown. And it's interesting because I have another Italian bus. I didn't have room to do it in the video here, but you guys have seen this, the wide bed. And that particular one only has two M codes. One is 403, which is complete knockdown, and then the other M code is wide bed, which is kind of cool. The reason that they did complete knockdown was to avoid taxes. Instead of sending complete whole units over to Italy, they went ahead and circumvented certain taxes. Rather than sending a complete truck, you would actually go ahead and send it in parts. And then at the dealership, they would go ahead and put this thing together. So you basically would get like a bus in a box, if you will, and then put the thing together. So what's interesting about that is when you start looking underneath of the CKD models, the way that they're welded and actually put together definitely looks different than the way that some of the ones that were just done at the factory. So it's kind of interesting. Sometimes I know Brian Washburn got underneath the wide bed one time, and he said, dude, what happened down here? You know, it looks totally different. I'm like, it's not like, you know, some kid put it together. So it's a complete knockdown. But that's the only M code on that one, which is kind of a trip. Pretty neat. Another thing, while we're here, we'll talk real quick. You see this red stripe here. You see it on a lot of the Italian buses. And if it's not here, sometimes you've seen it right here below the headlight. But that red stripe, according to my friend at this dealership here, he actually was one that was telling me that basically it's on commercial buses, and it's almost like having commercial license plates here in the US, where you're allowed to park in certain zones. You get priority in certain areas because you're a commercial vehicle. So I think it's kind of rad. Moving on to my good old trusty 1966 blue, you know, dove blue French high roof. This one's cool. Obviously, this one's special. This is my first high roof. This one actually has some pretty trippy M codes. So you've got M code 397, which means prepared for France. Okay. Now I still have my French license plates on here, which is kind of cool. But the headlights were slightly different. It also had the yellow bulbs in there, so that was kind of cool. The other M code on here was 043, which stands for preparation for Swiss license requirements. So it's kind of interesting to see how they prepared it. So it doesn't exactly call out what those preparations were, but I think once it went to go past the Swiss inspection, you know, all those things were probably already done. So if anybody out there actually knows any particulars on that, please comment on it. Let me know. I love learning. By the way, you guys, when I do these videos, I never, ever say, hey man, I know everything about this stuff. I mean, I know quite a few things, but there's many of you out there that know a heck of a lot more. So this is what it's all about, right? You guys, the community, learning from each other. And then of course, my favorite M code of all, can anybody guess? 222, and that is high roof panel van. But it gets more interesting as we walk around over here to the sales flap. By the way, these Safaris, I don't have the M code for Safaris because it didn't come with these. I actually went ahead and added them. So fun fact, Charlie Hamill, bus guru Charlie Hamill, he actually had these original paint dove blue Safaris, and I thought, dude, they look like they came off this bus, considering that it has the rust up here, and these are kind of crusty. So I bought them and said, I'll buy them off you as long as you install them. And he did. So yay. Anyway, moving on to this here. Most of you guys have seen, this is a 1964 sales flap high roof. and also very well known. It's been in, you know, posters, puzzles, you name it. And its sister bus is actually owned by my friend Michael, but that's not here. But this one, 64 sales flap. The M code's on here, 056, locking steering column. And also 065, which is funny because it's not on here. So I think probably when it originally left the factory for Germany, it actually had the inscribed axle load limits, which is just like what the tipper truck has. That's M code 065 and M code 080, which is walkthrough. And so as you can see, it's got walkthrough seats. Now the other thing too, fun fact, is that on a sales flap, they were ordered as left-hand side cargo doors, okay? All real Westfalia sales flaps are walkthroughs, cargo doors on the left-hand side, and then the flap on the right-hand side. There are some sales flaps out there that's like, oh yeah, I got a sales flap. It might be piano hinged, the door might be on the left-hand side, and so forth. But real sales flaps converted by Westfalia, as found in the book, also known as an SO2, would be just like this. So yeah, so the cool part about this is you would think that it would have M code 222, you know, high roof panel van, but it actually has M code 221. So kind of cool. And that stands for sales flap high roof. So pretty neato. This one here we're going to save for last because this is the monster on M codes. So next on the list here, we're going to go with the let's go with the Ruthman here, the bucket truck. Now the bucket truck, you'd think that again that it would have all sorts of different M codes. It's got some. So 056 locking ignition, 065 inscribed axle load limits. It looks like they've worn off over the years. 071, that one's kind of cool. Anybody guess what that is? That is, as it says in the book, second locker hatch for single cab, otherwise known as extra treasure chest. So, or a lot of people are like, oh, it's got dual treasure chests. And then this one's kind of fun. M code 118 stands for without side tailgates. So this one actually came without the bed gates, okay? Right now it's a perfect place for me to put glass that I don't want to break. So yeah, did not come with the tailgates, and that's because of the fact that Ruthman went ahead and bolted up its system to where those are, which is kind of cool. And then the only other M code that's on that tag is M code 215, which stands for 1-ton payload and a 1500cc engine. So it actually has a bigger engine. Just go ahead and push this thing. By the way, when you drive this thing, and you can look it up on the Hot VW's YouTube channel, Shin and I did a video on this thing. And I'll tell you, driving this thing is like driving a boat down the street. That's why I don't drive it very often, because it's just like, I mean, it's like the mast is just so heavy. Not to mention that it's 6 volt and the booger is slow. So 1500cc, whatever. Feels like you've got a 25 horse. Now this one here, this is probably, I always joke around saying this is kind of like my most normal bus. This is a 67 double cab. We did a video on that one as well with Sergio in comparison to his 68. So you guys have seen some of it. But this one has some pretty cool M codes on here. And you know, this thing actually came from Bolivia, and it's German spec. And so what's kind of cool is 1 year only double cab, 67, 12 volt, you know, all the goodies. But this one actually has M code 220, which is locking differential, limited slip. This thing was definitely in a mountainous and also desert area, which is kind of a trip. So it also has a M code 092, which is lower gear for mountain travel. This thing is slow. Right now, driving it around here on the highway, you're like pushing it at 55 miles an hour, but it gets you there. M code 094, locking deck lid. It's kind of funny that they actually had an M code for a locking deck lid. And also M code 106, heavy duty shock absorbers. So, you know, you start kind of like try to paint the picture as far as like where this thing actually was. And then M code 113. This one's really cool, you guys. So if you're ever wondering, are they real Safaris? You know, did the truck actually come with real Safaris? The M code is 113, and that's for the Safari windows. Now this one's really trippy. This one kind of freaked me out. I'm like, what? M code 156, second rear view mirror, which is really strange. And I'm like, where the hell would you put a second rear view mirror? Now, the only thing that I could think of is that it came with one on this side, but I don't know, but it just says rear view mirror, not side view mirror. So if anybody out there knows what the hell that means, you know, other than if you had another one down here or whatever, I don't know. Go figure. But I'm like, huh. The other M code is 207, which, as we call it, hoops and canvas. They call it tarps and bows. And another one that I looked up when I did the whole the birth certificate thing and so forth, is that this one's also M-coded for dusty conditions. So it's got an air cleaner that looks like the air cleaner that comes on a thing, which is kind of cool. So yeah, it's definitely got some cool little attributes to it. And it's always fun to kind of go, you know, doing the codes, figuring out what's what. But let me tell you, when we're talking M codes and crazy stuff, this one definitely takes the cake. This one here, you know, it's like, what? And I'll start with one of the most obvious M codes that when I looked it up, I went, because when I first got the bus, I thought, all right, super rad bus. And, but I thought to myself, okay, the bus has like 13,000 original miles. And so it's, you know, it's pretty original and so forth, but where's the emblem? You know, and I'm like, I can't believe somebody actually went ahead and welded up the nose. But that's not the case. After doing a little bit of research, this thing came up on the tag. It actually has not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or like 6, or another one that has 3, or like the Italian one that has 1 M code. This thing has 9 M codes, you guys. 2 that are unknown. So if anybody out there can kind of figure those out, I would love to hear. Now the first one is 222, my favorite one, right? High roof, love high roofs. Ta-da. So this one, M code 222, high roof panel van. 623, M code 623, 12 volt system with resistor plug wires for shortwave radios. Trippy, huh? I mean, it is an ambulance. M code 701, big old question mark next to that one. What is that? Same with M code 757, big old question mark next to that one. 025, seatbelts, kind of a trip, okay? 029, this one's kind of cool. Front and rear tow hooks, which is really kind of cool. So you actually have a tow hook on the front, and usually you'll see it, it's bolted to the frame. It's kind of hard to see here. I'll try to take a picture of it later. But the trippy part is, you know, I'm sorry, you'll usually see a tow hook on the rear, but rarely do you see one on the front, but this one's got them on both front and back. The other one, of course, 056, locking ignition. And then my favorite one, on this one that tripped me out, M code 100 without VW emblem on the front. So yeah, this thing actually came as a virgin nose. No one ever poked any holes in this thing. And I think a lot of it was because of the fact that people went ahead and put their own logos on it. And so why put the, you know, VW emblem on there if you're gonna go ahead and paint your own thing. Now the other one that was kind of a little bit of a head scratcher, Everett, got a question for you on that one, is M code 119, Eberspacher BN4 gas heater. But then when you look to the right on the website, it says, except ambulance. So that's kind of weird, man. This is an ambulance. So maybe it's non-high roof ambulances, who knows? But this has a heater. And then the other one, which is kind of cool, M code 194, and I know somebody repopped them, but it says larger front mirrors. So yeah, there's an actual M code for these mirror arms, which is kind of a trip. So, yep. Pretty cool. Really, really crazy stuff. You know, I love these cars, and it's always fun seeing all of the different things that they come with, and they all have their own stories. If you guys have anything kind of weird that I could take a look at, that'd be pretty neat, and come check out your car and kind of decipher those M codes. But like I said, you guys, go to thesamba.com, look up M codes there. If any of you know Lind, he's also a ZVW bus on Instagram. So shoot him a question. That dude is a guru. If you run into Charlie Hamill, he knows a whole bunch as well. So there are some people out there that definitely know quite a bit. But there you go, you guys. I thought it'd be kind of fun. It's kind of neat to decipher it. And I'm very, very fortunate to have this crack habit of collecting commercial buses. And I thought, well, okay, cool. And that's still not all of them. Maybe I'll have to do a couple others later on as an appendix to this video. So anyway, you guys, thank you again for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you ever have any ideas as to, hey man, we want to check this out or whatever, let me know. Maybe we'll do some more in-depth videos on some of these. I know I've done the high roof one. Mark helped me out with that one. The ambulance has been filmed a few times, but yeah, maybe we'll do some other stuff. But until then, you guys, if you haven't already, like I said before, please subscribe. It helps me take care of Mark. So, and we got to take care of Mark, you guys, because we got to get him in more tight spaces. We shot a video the other day where we put him in the back seat of a Bug, which was awesome. So you'll see that. It's kind of cool. Anyway, again, thanks for watching, you guys. See you at the next one.